This month, we are working with the lemon lime prayer plant. It's a fascinating house plant that opens its leaves up and down into prayer position, depending on the light. I have been sitting next to a lemon lime prayer plant when I do my meditation practice, and it's interesting because I can hear it moving. I mean, it moves slow, it's a plant, but you can hear the leaves kind of plop open. And lemon lime is an interesting essence. It has us contemplating various themes this month. And one of them is, where do we belong? Where is our place in the world? And this is an interesting question because of the last 2 years of things kind of falling apart and this process of life disassembling in order to reassemble with greater strength, foundation, or alignment and rectitude of character. So many people have kind of sifted through their different relationships, family and friends over the last couple of years. Some have, people have come in and out of our lives for various reasons. And some relationships have broken down. And there is this sense of things kind of falling apart in order to come together in a new way. And yet I feel like we're still all in this kind of sensation of what's happening, and there's still a lot of unknown, and there is a lot of kind of tenuous international vibe out there, where the whole world is kind of in this funny pattern right now. And so I think it has us kind of reflecting on, when you're kind of stuck in a holding pattern, and the world feels very different now than it did, say, 3 or 5 years ago, when things were just really trucking along and kind of made more sense in terms of, like, you could make a goal and a plan and stick to it and be able to rely on it. And now there are so many outer factors and influences happening that we're not necessarily able to have the luxury of that kind of, not stability, but sort of knowing that the follow through on our plan is totally possible and easy. There is this sense of unknown and what's happening next, which can contribute to feeling a sort of unsettledness, a collective unsettled, which we will then also perceive in our individual experience. This kind of unsettled, what do I do next? What's the most important place that I can put my energy right now? What are my priorities? Where do I truly belong? Where is my place? Where do I need to be the majority of this time? Where does my investment of energy and time need to go right now? And I think one helpful way to sort of get a sense of place in our lives is to, it sounds really simple, but to make the spaces that we're in feel more homey. So whether it's your bedroom or your house or your office space or your desk, just noticing the things that you feel drawn to, the colors, the textures, the imagery, the scents, like the smells around you, and the temperature. Do you need to turn up your heat or turn up your AC wherever you are in the world? Do you need to change the music that you're listening to, or change something about your meditation practice, so that you can feel more rooted and stable in your place? Because ultimately, we belong because we belong here on earth. We belong here on earth, and we belong right here in our own hearts, ultimately. But this seems to be like really important for us to kind of settle into, what is my place right now at this particular time in history? And what is my contribution? But before we get too much into that, as we open to an even greater unknown. I feel like even as we've just transitioned from ox year to tiger year, there's even more this sense of kind of fierce independence. You know how tigers are. And the question I have to just have you reflecting on this week is, when you're considering your place in the world, what are some ways that you can make your current external place or space feel more homey, more stable, more a sense of strength and inspiration, like deep, sacred inspiration, whether that's, you know, having a beeswax candle around, or incense or aromatherapy diffuser with oils that give you a sense of sacred purpose, or imagery on the walls that inspires you, making your home space not only feel like homey and protective, but also inspire in you a sense of your divine expression. How can you make the spaces around you a reflection of your own divine place, your own sacred altar, your own belonging?